And a very good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Liz G. I am the Dean of the school, and I'm delighted to welcome you this evening to the London College of Fashion. What are we going to do this evening? I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about where the Fashion Business School fits in terms of the university and the college, so that you get an idea of sort of where we're sitting and what we're offering you. I'm going to talk a little bit about our exciting new campus that you'll be the first students on if you join us next year. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the courses that we offer. Clearly in this time that we've got, I'm not going to be going into any major detail on the courses, but I can at least sort of signpost you towards the ones that might be of interest. And there's loads more stuff on our website that will be useful to you in helping you make your decision. And we also have an open event on Saturday, the 8th of October, which I'm hoping that you'll join us at as well, to meet some of the team and to find out more about the courses that you're interested in. With me tonight, I've also got Alix Hanson, who is our college admissions tutor, and I will hand over to her towards the end of my blurb to give you a few pointers on making a successful application. Okay, so what do I want? What do I need to tell you? I need to tell you about where my school fits into the university. So the University of the Arts London is enormous. It is Europe's largest specialist art and design university, and consistently over the last 4 years it's been ranked at the second best place globally for art and design. And that gives us a very special position, as you'll see as I sort of work through the structure really. So University of the Arts London is the big umbrella organisation, or we all call it UAL. And UAL is comprised of 4 colleges. So you'll have all heard of Central St Martin's. So, you know, people like Stella McCartney train there, etc. You will have might have heard of the London College of Communication, which is where journalists, graphic designers train, and very many more. It's a huge college. Chelsea, Camberwell and Wimbledon is our drama and dance, and also some of our fine art as well in those 3 colleges. And you have the London College of Fashion, which is all things fashion. So we in the London College of Fashion break ourselves into 3 schools. We have, and I put us, the Fashion Business School, slap bang in the middle of the other 2 schools, and you may see why in a minute. It's not just about geography, although at the moment the Fashion Business School is geographically located between the School of Media and the School of Design. But next year, in fact this time next year, we will be in our new campus, therefore we will all be located together, so the geography changes. But in terms of what the business school does, we very much bring together the 3 schools, and we sit in the middle. The School of Media and Communications is fashion journalism, fashion PR, fashion promotion, fashion in terms of methods of communication, and is quite creative. At the other end, the School of Design and Technology are makers, where footwear, women's wear, contour, pattern cutting, embroidery, the sort of really creative artistic side of fashion. And we are the business school, which brings all this artistic activity into the industry. It's the interface with the industry and the commercialization of fashion. And we all know that fashion is a massive industry and it is hugely commercial. And that is our role really, to sit and look at the way that the industry works, from this massive ecosystem, from extracting raw materials all the way through to consumption, the customer and the recycling, and that whole circularity of elements of the fashion ecosystem. And it very much isn't it's not a value chain anymore, it's not a fashion chain anymore, it's very much an ecosystem, and we look at it in that way. So we sit in the middle. Okay, so that position in the London College of Fashion, which has started very much from the School of Design and Technology. So we grew up as a trade school, or a conglomeration of trade schools, gives us a really rich craft heritage, and that gives us our unrivaled global position, really. Fashion Business School and the London College of Fashion is one very, very special place to study. And we have got very many famous alumni across the three schools. It's just some of the people I've taught. I mean, you've probably all own, many of you may own or know of a Rixo dress. And I taught, when I first started teaching, Orla and Henrietta, who now run Rixo, were some of my first dissertation students. So yeah, so in terms of, but yeah, we've all got stories of alumni that you will have heard of, and people that have gone on to make names for themselves in the fashion industry. So I've already talked about next year, and next year for us is going to be very special. We are going to move to this enormous vertical campus in September 23. So just as you join us next year, you will be the first students through the doors of this fantastic new campus, and we're so excited about bringing together all of our students and all of our staff into one place, and being able to create a real fashion community of over 6,500 students. It's a big old beast. It's the tallest higher education campus in Europe, and it's progressing well. We've all been to see it, and we're all very excited about it. It's not just the campus that's going to be exciting, it's where it is in Stratford, alongside Sadler's Wells, alongside the BBC, across the road from University College London engineering department, and just next door to the V&A as well. So this cultural powerhouse, as it's being trailed. And it's also a really nice place to study, with lots of shops near us, lots of green space. We're all really excited about moving to this new place from our current 6 campuses scattered across London, which mean that we spend most of our time on the central line between them, and as do students. This campus together will give us places to dwell. It will give us places of community and spaces. So it's really exciting. I've got a short video that we can show you to just give you a feel of what the new campus looks like. I'm going to have to ask Georgina to do that for me. I think she's ready and poised. There she is. Just a note, there is no sound at the moment. So the Fashion Business School will be located on the 4th and 5th floor of that new building, and yeah, we're very much looking forward to seeing that grow over the next year, and welcoming students to it next year. Okay, so why study with the Fashion Business School? That's really what you want to know, isn't it? So I've told you about our fantastic new building. Let's think about what you're going to learn when you're in that new building. And my vision for the school is to be the #1 global business school for a responsible fashion future. Okay, and that's quite a big ask, given, as some of you I'm sure are very well versed in some of the challenges of the fashion industry at the moment. And that's something we want to challenge, and we want to make a difference, and we want our students to make a difference to the industry. So I've already talked about how unique we are. We are the only global business school that is wholly focused on the fashion and lifestyle industries. This creativity gives us particular ways of teaching and approaching our disciplines. There is no other business school in an arts environment, in an arts context. So the way we teach and the way we can bring creativity into business, which is an inherently creative discipline anyway, makes us very, very different. We've been ranked as one of the best undergraduate business and management schools according to Business and Fashion, and we've got lots of other awards, and we do belong to chapters such as social responsibility and sustainability through what's called PRIME, the Principles of Responsible Management Education. And social responsibility and sustainability are really important to us. That's part of how we ensure a responsible fashion future. And every one of our courses has responsibility and sustainability running through it, almost as consistent themes. All of our courses are devised very closely with the fashion industry. And when we talk to our partners in the industry, we ask them what are the skills that they want graduates to be able to have when they go out into the world of work, and we work with them to understand maybe what gaps there are that perhaps we can fill. Okay, so we're not a training school, but we do intend that you leave us with the best skills, knowledge and values to be able to make a difference to the industry. Okay. And it's a massive industry. It's not just fashion, it's everything around fashion. The fashion and lifestyle industries is a massive industry with very conservative estimates from 2019. But what we do aim to do is give you a rounded education so that you can go into any industry that's allied to fashion. Don't think for a moment that because you're learning in the Fashion Business School, you are learning business. Yeah, you are learning business subjects that are transferable to any industry. You know, I've had students in the past who have got disillusioned with the fashion industry and have gone to work in property or in banking. Strangely, how can you be disillusioned with fashion and go and work in banking? But anyway, there are, you know, so the skills you learn, don't for a minute think that you're cutting your options down, because we give you a rounded education, we give you very many skills, and also it's actually now more important that the skills that you get on your undergraduate degree, rather than the knowledge content, because you know you can get knowledge from the internet, from anywhere. Yeah, it's at your fingertips. You don't need us to do that. What we do is think about the transferable skills. How do problem solving, creative thinking, communication, relationship building, etc., which are far more important as graduate attributes when you leave us than necessarily knowing how to calculate a margin or something like that. Okay, so that's why you should come and study with us. It's a very broad education. Yeah, in terms of what some of the sort of promotional material around the business school tells you we're the only global business school, and that the fact that we have our traditional business school disciplines, but we're firmly embedded in our industry, means that we can start to challenge that industry. You know, we can start to get you to disrupt the industry and seize the opportunity that's ahead of us. Okay. The way I think about the school, and we try and organise the school to make that happen in terms of strategy, is around 4 pillars. And fashion, we know that fashion means business, and that is our strapline. And the fashion business is underpinned by these 4 pillars. The fashion business makes a profit in monetary terms, but it also profits in many other ways as well. And it's about thinking of profit in a wider perspective. And to do that, you have to put purpose at the core of everything you do. Not just as a business school, but as any form of commercial entity. Why are you existing, and what is your purpose? What do you want to achieve? And the impact that industry has on both the people and that work in it, and the planet it draws its resources from, we have to be really mindful of. And that makes our approach to business really, really rather unique. We are not just talking about profit maximisation, it is about protecting our resources as well. That's our human resources from a diversity and equality point of view, as well as our physical resources. Okay, I got the wheel of death then, we're all right, we're back again. I talked about awards very briefly and talked about Prime. These are our badges, okay, and I always display our badges because as prospective students, you're going to want to know that the course you're choosing has got a badge of quality, okay, and it's not just the university that's telling you that, but it's also external bodies. And the way business schools do that is through accreditations. And accreditations are where courses are basically given a badge by an external body that says the content of this course is good. Yeah, it gives you a certain comfort that what you're learning is going to be useful to you when you leave. And we know this is a big investment for you in terms of your time, in terms of your money, and perhaps some of your parents' money as well. So you've got to know that you're getting a good return on that investment. And these sort of badges help you see that and help you judge our courses against other universities' courses, because you're going to be comparing. Okay. So when you look at the courses you're interested in, have a look at the accreditations. So for example, the management courses, whether it's the MSc or the BSc, are accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. Okay. And to be accredited by those, they have rigorous bodies. They look at our syllabuses, so what we teach you, and they say that's a good quality and that aligns to their qualifications as well. So you also get a Chartered Management Institute qualification as well as your degree. Where else this is important is in psychology. So the Psychology of Fashion course. Every psychology course that you should be looking at, if you're interested in psychology, should be accredited by the British Psychological Society. That accreditation then allows you to become a member of the BPS when you graduate. And without that, you can't call yourself a psychologist. Okay? So you really must look for courses that have that BPS accreditation. And psychology is one of those disciplines that does that. And you might wonder why on earth psychology and cosmetic science sit within a business school. We'll get to that in a little while. But as a business school, we sit amongst 104 other business schools as part of the Chartered Association of Business Schools. Okay, so that means I meet fairly regularly with the deans of other business schools, so like King's, Bayes, Cambridge, Judge, yeah, all the sort of big hitting business schools. And then there's little old me. And we have actually quite a loud voice amongst business schools because of our niche and because we are so focused. Yeah, so we are in terms looked on, with some respect by those really big, huge business schools that teach everything and have been running for years, versus our niche approach. What else have we got on here to think about? We have a small business charter, which really gives you some comfort, I suppose, if you're thinking about starting your own business at one point in time. Maybe you're not quite sure what you want to do as a career, but I've got this little inkling that maybe one day you might want to run your own business. Okay. So we have a small business charter which accredits all of the work we do and says that we're very good at working with small businesses, basically. And lots of our curricula are tailored towards what you need to know to start your own business and certainly to have a business that thrives. And even if the curriculum isn't tailored in that way, your mindsets are. So you're given very much the skills to be entrepreneurial and to take opportunities and to innovate and to be agile and flexible, and all of those really useful skills for being a successful entrepreneur. Okay, enough of the badges, but that is something important to look for when you look at the actual courses themselves and look at the course web pages. Okay, so a little bit about the actual courses. I'm not going to dwell on them hugely, but our courses group into 3 areas, and all together they make up our undergraduate community. And we are a large school in terms of UAL, and I know we are the largest school in UAL. We have over 1,800 students this year, and we are also growing. So there's sort of 500 freshers every year for you to get to know. So let's just think about the way the courses are structured. And I sort of think of them as specialist and generalist. You may well know exactly where you want to go now. You may not know where you want to go just yet. And you may want to be keeping your options open. And I'll flag that as we go. So the management courses. The management courses are around how you manage fashion products, fashion processes, yeah, and the skills and knowledge you need to be able to do that. So if you now know that you want to be a fashion buyer and you want to work for a retailer or a wholesaler, you want to work in buying, or maybe you want to work in merchandising, and you are certain that is your career path, then you should be looking at fashion buying and merchandising, because that's exactly what you learn. Okay? You learn the skills, or the two really important skill sets of buying and merchandising, and how they come together and bleed in the middle. But both of those are really important. Okay. So that's the course to follow if you know that you want to be a fashion buyer or merchandiser. If you think you might want to be a fashion buyer or merchandiser, but you're not too sure and you want to keep your options open, and you also want to do a bit of marketing and quite a bit of finance, yeah, so that then you can have got all the elements to be able to then go and start your own business, then you might want to look at the management courses in terms of BSc Fashion Management or MSc Strategic Fashion Management. And these are Bachelor of Science courses, the BSc, yeah, and MSc. And all of our other courses, apart from the science courses, are BAs, okay, so arts courses. And that should signal to you where you should be looking. If you're interested in numbers, if you're interested in accounting and finance and data analytics and using numbers and to make decisions, then the BSc or MSc may well be for you, because they're very broad courses, but they are very data focused. And that's not to say that the BA Fashion Buying and Merchandising doesn't have data in it, because of course it does. You can't be a buyer or a merchandiser without being quite good at data manipulation. But there is a marked difference in the focus of the courses in terms of quantitative and qualitative, I suppose is the best way to explore it. And all of these courses require you to have a decent grounding in maths. Okay, so all of these three courses need a good entry criteria in maths, just because we don't want you to struggle with the margin calculations and with the basic finance that you are going to be doing in there. Yeah. And that's not to put you off, because everybody needs to be good at finance, and I am a chartered accountant, so I would say that, wouldn't I, really? Okay, so those are the management courses. So the broad courses, and then the one that's focused on product, which is fashion buying and merchandising. Okay. Okay. Moving into marketing, this is our growing area. We know just how many students are interested in areas of marketing. And whereas a few years ago we just had one fashion marketing course along with a visual merchandising course, we have now started to segment our marketing offer and target different parts of the marketing discipline. Okay, so what you have now are 3 different courses in marketing, with a new one that's started this year and a new one that will be starting in the following year. So fashion marketing in the middle, think of it in the middle of them all really, is our course that's been running for very many years and has a huge recruitment, very many disappointed students on fashion marketing. So the first course we introduced was fashion marketing and consumer behaviour, which is where fashion marketing and psychology come together, but it's a BA, so it's very much more marketing than psychology, but it is it certainly does have a direction in terms of how consumers make choices. On the other side of marketing can become very much more about styling and PR, and often we would get students applying to fashion marketing alongside maybe fashion styling as well. So that's where our new course, Fashion Marketing and Content Creation, comes in, because that's very much in that space between styling and marketing. It's about creating content. It's a much more creative course. And if you come to the open day or even have a look online, you should be able to get a real feel for the differences between those 3 courses. Okay? 'Cause it's really important that you don't apply to all three. Yeah, it's important that you decide which part of marketing is important, is interesting to you, which direction you want to go in. And most people have got a feel for one way or another. And Alix can help guide you in that direction as well. So it's important you try and pinpoint which marketing course you want. The fashion visual merchandising course is our course that is very creative. Okay, so it's the most creative course in the school. It is where you are communicating directly with consumers visually. Okay, so for those of you who want to use your business skills and art skills, that's the course for you. Okay, that is creative selling. Yeah, it's a creative selling course. It's communicating directly and visually with consumers and enticing them to buy product. So that's that course. Again, it's our most creative course. Not that the rest aren't, but that is our most creative course. Our science courses sit within business, yeah, because they have the MSc Cosmetic Science is a very, very niche course. It's a hugely popular course, and it's one of the very few courses in the country and it focuses in on the cosmetic industry. So as a science course, you learn formulation, you learn how makeup and skincare and hair care and perfume, how they're made from a chemistry point of view, but also the business side of it. And these students are incredibly employable by Procter & Gamble, by the big cosmetic companies who need people who understand the science and understand the business coming together, because it's a hugely profitable industry, and those graduates are very valuable too. Psychology of fashion is in a similar position. It's that real sort of crossing point between business and science. And again, as I said earlier, the accreditation of this course makes you able to go on for graduate membership of the British Psychological Society if you want to work as a psychologist. Okay. So I haven't really got time to go into those in any great detail. So please do look at the websites, or do talk to us more about your interests, and please do come to our open day. We are running the open day on the 8th in 2 sessions. So if you want to come and see your main course first, maybe then think about what else you might be interested in. So if you're looking at the marketing courses and want to talk to them in the morning, then in the afternoon you could maybe come and talk to the psychology team to see whether that might be interesting for you. I certainly know that psychology is an A-level that's taken by very many of you out there. It's certainly the most popular A-level at my daughter's sixth form college. So just a little bit about our undergraduate curriculum, because our undergraduates all study the same unit right at the start. We have a unit called Introduction to, whatever your course is called, which is really important to us, because that's where we talk about the values of the Fashion Business School. We introduce our 4 pillars, and we really explore themes of inclusivity, social responsibility, and sustainability. What you also get in that Introduction to unit are the skills for success. It's your toolbox for success coming into higher education. And we recognise how different higher education is from your sixth form or your school where you are at the moment. And we help you through that transition. All of our courses also have, as I've sort of alluded to already, employability features. So we think about, integrated work experience. You can take a year abroad, a year in industry, sorry, and all of the courses at some point in the curriculum work with industry in terms of live briefs. And so please again look at your course specifics for what they are offering you. We run things like speaker programs as well that you'll be able to access. There's often extracurricular competitions and industry projects. And we have our research centres, such as the Fashion Business Research Centre and the Centre for Sustainable Fashion and Fashion Innovation Agency, which are our three main research hubs that feed into our curriculum and keep our curriculum fresh and relevant. Okay. Talked a little bit about extracurricular opportunities. We have a graduate futures department even, who is our careers organisation. They load up work experience opportunities and help you with your diploma year if you want a year in industry. We have our regular Fashion Means Business slots, which are our industry speakers and our podcasts. We have competitions, projects, internships, and the opportunity at the end of your degree to show your work. Now, it's very difficult for fashion business students to have a runway catwalk show, but we do have increasingly creative ways of showing your work to the industry at the end of your degree, whether that be through simulations, through VR, through AR, through you can make podcasts or posters, or all sorts of different ways of making your work showable and creative. So that's something to really look forward to at the end of your degree. And all fashion business school students, just like any other student in the college, has an opportunity to show their work at the end of their degree. Okay, that's enough wobbling on from me. I think I'm going to hand over to Alix to talk about application and to answer questions, but I'm not going to go anywhere. I will hang around for questions at the end. But again, thank you all for coming this evening.
Hello all, I hope you can hear me. My name's Alix Hanson. I'm the College Admissions Tutor with the Fashion Business School. And I'm just going to talk very briefly about applying to FBS and just give you a few pointers. So, first thing to tell you is that there's no interview for our courses. So your application and what you put in your application is especially important because it's on that basis that we'll be making a decision about your suitability for our courses. And of course, we want you to really enjoy your experience of studying with us. We want to make sure that you're on the right course for you. So our courses, you won't be interviewed for our courses. Fashion, visual merchandising and branding does require you to upload a digital portfolio though. And you'll find out more about that at the open day, which is on the 8th of October. So yeah, really we want to see, you know, what makes you suited to the course. We look for evidence of your interest in the subject and how it aligns with the course. And you really need to spell it out for us and explain specifically what it is you're interested in, why it interests you, how did you gain knowledge about it, how do you keep up to date with the subject. So it's really important that you apply for the course you want because, you know, we do make offers for the course that we really believe is the right one for you. So you want to make sure that your application is focused, and that's why it's important for you to come to the open day so that you really understand what it is that you're applying for. So the first tip I'd give you is to make sure that you do your research. And so you should have a sense of, you know, the subject, you know, what exactly the course is about, what are the entry requirements, what do you need in order to apply, and what will you learn on the course, and just find out more about Fashion Business School. And those are, so when you come to the open day, you can come with questions too, because you'll be able to interact with course leaders and also students who are already studying on that course. So feel free to ask away because that can give you some good information for writing your application. Also, you want to create a compelling narrative about why you should be accepted. So a good story, if you like, which positions you in relation to the course that you're applying for. And so you might need to do some reflection on yourself, who you are, your strengths, how you feel you could fit with the course that you're applying to, because our courses are competitive. So you really want to make a strong case for how you fit well, how your interests fit well with the course you're applying to study. I'd say that you should be resourceful too. Use the people around you. So I'm sure you'll all be supported by your brilliant teachers and tutors. Ask them questions as well, advisors. that are in your college, for example, family members. Speak to people, find out what they studied. It would be great if you can speak to people who have also studied fashion business school, or have experience in the fashion industry in the business side. So do your homework and be resourceful and use the people around you. Apply for courses that you're genuinely interested in and motivated towards. Don't just, waste the opportunity, but actually be intentional about what it is that you want to study. And also be aware of the deadlines. There are deadlines for your application, which you'll have to go to the UCAS website to kind of make sure you're on top of when those deadlines are. I've put the link there, but you could just put that into Google, the UCAS deadlines, and it will tell you. Okay, so when you apply to us, again, because there's no interview, it means your application is, what you put in your application is all the more important, because that's what we're looking at when you apply. So we'll be able to see from your application your grades, your references from your teacher, your work experience, and your personal statement. So with your work experience, some people don't put their work experience on their application, and make sure that you do. There's a separate area on your application form for work experience, and make sure you fill that in, because we really value work experience. Don't worry if you don't have any, but if you do, even if it's just voluntary, or if it's, you're working for a family business, all experience is good experience. So that's something to definitely include. So what I'm about to say now isn't a guide. I'm not making suggestions about what to put in your statement per se, because every personal statement is going to be completely different, and is going to be completely original. But just to give you a feel for how we look at your statement, what we're thinking about is, do you have the right qualifications for the course, or do you have the qualities or the potential to do well on the course? Are you likely to complete the full course? Because of course we want you to get through your degree, ideally get some work experience in the form of the 1-year work placement if you choose to do that, and really have an amazing time on our courses. So those are the things we think about too. Do you have good communication skills? Because how you write your personal statement also tells us something about you too. Have you researched the course, and do you understand what it's about? And do you have a genuine interest in studying at degree level? So some things you might include in your personal statement might be your career aspirations. What do you want to do with the course? What do you want to do in the future? What problem would you like to solve? Business is, in my view, about solving a problem or solving problems. And so what is it that you would like to address by studying the course that you've chosen to apply for? Awards are really something that we really value as well. It could be something like the Duke of Edinburgh Award, if you've ever done something like that. Awards that you've won, or things that you've achieved that show us that you have resilience, teamwork, drive. You don't have to have won an award. It could be that you were nominated for one, or that you took part in something that makes you gives you a bit of a different experience, or something that makes you stand out. It doesn't have to be directly or indirectly related to fashion. It's more about the skills that you're showing us that you have. Work experience, it could be working in a shop or a family business, in a retail environment. Suppose you're applying for cosmetic science, it could be that you worked in a chemist, or you've worked in an office setting. All work experience is valuable, in my opinion, because it tells us a lot about you and some of the skills that you might have that you can demonstrate on your application. Qualities and values. What are the things that are important to you? Maybe diversity is important to you, or inclusion, or sustainability, climate change, whatever it is for you. What are the things that you really, really value, and how does that relate to the things that what you want to study at degree level? I mentioned work experience, but of course that also does include voluntary work. I think I did say that. It doesn't have to be paid work, and if you don't have any work experience, you could also get some, even while you're in the process of applying. So yeah, these are just some of the things that you could include. The transferable skills are things that you learned or can be taught, or that you can bring to a different situation. So things like leadership, curiosity, agility, problem solving, analysis, communication. Maybe you know foreign languages. Maybe you're learning other languages like, I don't know, coding, or it's really broad. And again, there's not really one specific way to do your personal statement because it's going to be very original and unique to you. But yeah, we really want to see that you understand the course. So don't just tell us what we already know, what we've already told you on our web pages. It's really about what is the reason that appeals to you. What is it that you want to learn? What is it that you want to do with this course? Why is it the right one for you? We want to see that you have motivation towards the subject. So thinking about what you will learn on the course, and how do you connect the two. You could tell us about some experiences you've had in your life, maybe a powerful story or narrative. But if you're going to do that, tell us without using cliches. So again, you want your statement to be original. And yeah, of course, we want to see that you can write well, and that you'll be able to write well for higher education. Because the work that you'll be doing at university is different to what you've done before, and you will be writing reports, essays, dissertations. We want to see that you can write well. And yeah, have you really, I guess the most important thing to say to you is, have you done your homework? Have you thought about what you'd like to do with the degree? What would you do afterwards? Would you like to do a master's degree? Would you like to go into buying? Would you like to start your own brand? So you can tell us that too. And of course, are you genuinely interested in fashion? And why this course, and why fashion business? Why fashion business school and not somewhere else? What is it about what we offer that really appeals to you? So those are just some pointers. I'd also like to just say, I know we've told you a few times in this session, but just to remind you again that we do have the Fashion Business School Open Day, which will be on the 8th of October on a Saturday. And it's very important that you come to that if you can, because that is your opportunity to hear from course leaders, to speak to students who are already on the course, even to meet other people who are also interested in applying. So you might be able to get some good information. You will be able to get some very good information by coming to the open day. I'd also recommend that you apply early, research what you're applying for, and be mindful of the deadlines. And it's really important that you're thoughtful about what you've chosen to apply for. So you've heard in this session that we have 3 different marketing courses. So, you need to understand what they are and the differences, so that you'll be applying for the right, for the course that's right for you. Because again, when we make offers, we're looking at which is the right course for you. So it's very important that you spell that out. Again, your personal statement, make sure that it's tailored, it's relevant, and it shows us that you're well-rounded. You only have, I think, 47 lines in your personal statement, so you don't want to waste words. So make sure that it's impactful. And then if you get an offer with us, we have another event, which is the Offer Holders Day, which will happen sometime around March, April 2023. And that is when you'll again be able to meet with course leaders, current and prospective students, see the facilities, visit the UAL accommodation, with a view to you deciding, hopefully, that you'll want to join us and come and study with us. And then once you have an offer with us, what we would like you to do is continue to engage with LCF all throughout the year. That means when we reach out to you, look out for emails from us. If we have online events or activities taking place, stay connected with LCF all the way up to you joining us. And those are just some tips for applying. I think we've got about 7 minutes for questions. Over to you, Georgina.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, we've got a few questions coming in, so I'll just pick up the ones that I think that you can help with to start with. So there's a question here about uploading a digital portfolio, but am I right in thinking that there's only one course that actually requires a portfolio for FBS?
Yes, that's just fashion, visual merchandising and branding. So you'll upload, I believe it's a minimum of 10 images from your creative work that you've done before. So that's the only course that applies to.
Perfect. There's a couple of questions here about needing an art foundation, whether this is necessary and whether this is equivalent to A-levels.
Liz, do you want to answer that or shall I?
Foundation is great if you've got it. You don't need it. We look at it in terms of it's not something you actually have to have. I'm just picking up on one question as well. Sorry, about somebody who's Jessica. You signed up for the 15th of October undergraduate open day fashion. That's not us. That's not the Fashion Business School. We're on the 8th of October. So you've signed up for something else, possibly Central St Martin's.
So a question here asking what the international student requirements are. I would say you really need to know what course that you're interested in studying first. When you know the answer to that question, then the best way of getting this information is by looking at the course page under the entry requirements section. It's quite a detailed part of the course page, so it'd be difficult for us to run through all of the requirements for you right now. So please do check out the course page to the answer for that one. In terms of accommodation for the new building, it's something that the accommodation services are working on now, but we do have 12 halls of residence across UAL and they're dotted across London, and hopefully, well, I'm sure you'll all know that transport links across London are excellent, so there should be no issues in getting to the new site. Can you come to sorry, Liz.
Just pick up on the level 3 question and the applicant Hannah at the FRA. Yes, we have very many students from the FRA. Again, just with any of those specific questions, again, as Georgina said, have a look at the website for the particular course you're interested in. It is all written on there, just to make sure none of us steer you in the wrong direction. But FRA we have a lot of FRA students that come on to buying and merchandising particularly.
Okay. Oh, sorry, go on, Alex.
I'm just going to answer Sampson's question. You asked why would you not recommend applying for more than one marketing course? Well, when you study your degree, you're only going to do the one. You're going to just do the one degree. So we want to find what is the right course for you. If you've applied for a course and it actually doesn't look like you've understood that's, you've properly understood what it was that you were applying for, we might make an alternative offer. But yeah, it would just help you to know what you're applying for and apply for the right one going in the first place. And the best way to do that is get the information that you need to understand the differences between the courses, and that's why we recommend you come to the open day.
Yeah, I'll just pick up on that. I think Alex is quite right. But just thinking about the way the different courses are positioned, if you are very creative, then the content creation course is more likely to be suitable for you and the direction you're likely to want to go in, rather than if you're a business head, then I suppose the standard fashion marketing course is probably more business and less creative, which is why we've designed that new course. I just saw something from Harriet, I think, about why do a fashion business degree rather than a standard business or economics degree. Well, we teach you the same things as you would do on a standard business degree. It's just that you are just learning about the fashion industry, and hopefully if you have a real interest in the industry, you will do really well when you're studying. I think if you learn, say, strategy or learn finance on a normal business degree, you have to do it in the petrochemical industry and in the car industry and in lots of really dull industries like that. Whereas we teach you finance related to fashion, and we teach you strategy about the fashion industry. So it's all about your interests, really. If you want to do well, often you do well when you're learning something you're interested in. So that's why I would say that might be better for you if you're interested in fashion.
Can I answer Shelanika's question? She asks, I heard you make alternative offers or recommendations to what tutors feel are the best fit. Would coming in and applying be the only way to discuss one-to-one? You can send an email into applicant inquiries. I wonder if Georgina, you can put the email address in the chat, but we don't interview for our courses. So again, your application that's your opportunity to tell us what you studying, why, and it will be clear to us from your application which is the right course for you, because you will spell that out in your application.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I can pop that in there. The latest question about the open days, the event on the 8th really is for undergraduate students only. So we won't have our postgraduate course teams available. So I really would advise signing up for the open day that is taking place online in November. Just have so many questions coming in. We'll just try and get through a couple of more. Liz, Alex, do you know the percentage of students that take up the placement year at school?
Varies every year, and it's very much about those students who want a placement year and want to go out and get it for themselves. It's about how tenacious you are. We will help you, we will give you pointers, but we won't give it to you. So it depends, and clearly we've had through COVID there were a lot less placement available. This year they are, most businesses are back open again for placement, so I can't really give you a number. I think we've got about 60 gone out this year, which is a fairly normal number, to be honest, across the school. So yeah, I think they're certainly all back in person. But it's about, you have to go get it, basically. You have to really want it, but it's a fantastic experience. Not wanting to put you off.
Thank you. And just quickly, we've had a couple of questions about studying abroad for the FBS courses.
Not at the moment. That is currently under review. So we've got, yeah, we can't be advertising that at the moment. We're not sure what we're doing. Well, we are sure what we're doing with it. It's under a new system, so that will become clear over the next few weeks as you make your applications.
Now, I am conscious that we've got to 6 o'clock, which is the end of the session, and we have had so many questions to try and get through. So what I will do is I'm going to pop in our inquiries contact email address. Now, any questions that we've been unable to answer, please do send us an email using this address, and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. For anyone that can attend, then as we said, do book onto the open day. We'll be able to answer any questions that we've not covered in tonight's session at that event. And we will be running online course sessions in early December, which will be very similar to the course sessions that are delivered in person on Saturday, the 8th of October. So please don't worry if you can't visit us in person. We will have online events which cover the courses in more detail coming up, and they'll be available to book in the next couple of weeks or so. So I just want to thank everyone so much for coming. I really apologise if we haven't been able to answer your questions. We really get bombarded with questions in these events, and we do the best that we can to get through them all. But I thank you all for coming and wish you a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are, and thank you to Liz and to Alex for hosting the session this evening.